What's going on, guys? Chris Cooking Nashville here. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. It is kind of a cold Tuesday here in Nashville, and I know a lot of my Canadian and northern U.S. subscribers are probably rolling their eyes and laughing, saying, I don't know what cold is here in the South. And you're probably right. Comparatively to what you guys have probably been experiencing, this is probably not cold at all. But compared to what we've been having lately, this is cold this morning, so. You guys are back in the patrol car with me today. It is lunch break time, and we're gonna chat a little bit about a health vlog update for you real quick. So a couple of things. First of all, my weight has remained constant, and I'm still at that like 263 to 265 range right there. Something I'll say about that. If you're one of those people that is really freaked out by not losing weight, in a certain time frame, I'm not, but if you are, there's a couple of things that are really important. First of all, do not weigh yourself every week. Once a month is plenty because weight fluctuates just naturally up and down within a certain range. The other thing is, if there's a certain time frame you have not lost any weight in, but you also have not gained any weight, which is me. It's been, a couple of weeks since I've lost any weight. I also haven't gained any weight, and I have not been hungry. I'm not starving myself. I'm not struggling. I'm not spending 8 hours at the gym to maintain. Like, I'm just doing my normal life, and I don't feel like anything is a struggle or a difficulty. I enjoy the food that I eat. Like, doing the carnivore thing, man, like, I don't have to stress over it. So the fact that I'm not stressing about anything and I'm not gaining weight, I'm just eating the things that taste really great and that fit with my proper human diet, and I'm not missing out on anything by doing that. That is a huge, huge win. That's fantastic. So there's that. Teeth feel significantly better than they did. Pretty much all the pain, swelling, abscess, infection-y type things that were going on, that's pretty much all gone. I used a salt water rinse a couple of times, three times a day I was doing that. And then I was doing a peroxide, hydrogen peroxide water, like 1-to-1 ratio mix as well. And that seemed to take care of it. That took care of the problem. And it's a week from tomorrow that the ones in here that are causing me all the issues, it's a week from tomorrow those come out. So, I'm not looking forward to a dental surgery, but at the same time, after experiencing, the pain of them giving me fits and everything, definitely going to be glad when all of that can heal up and, we can move on from the damage and continue working on getting my oral health back where it should be. So not looking forward to a dental surgery, but I'm also not mad about the improvements that will come. So there's that. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and just your suggestions on my teeth and the different things. I appreciate you guys following along. It's the reason I do these health vlogs, is for the support and to keep myself accountable and to hopefully inspire you guys as I do it along the way. It just means a lot that we can all work together as a community and we can support each other, because that's really important. Now, on that note, I thought this would be something interesting to kind of talk with you about. So if you saw the short that I put up, it was a couple of days ago, I guess. I had a YouTube commenter on my old mayonnaise video, my spreadable butter mayo, the first one that I did like 6-7 months ago, whenever that was. I had somebody who kind of got into a debate back and forth with me. And when I say debate, what I really mean is them calling me fat and, doing all these things. Now, first of all, for all of you that always offer me encouragement when I talk about, people that make comments like that, I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Your support means the world, and please don't ever stop letting me know when you support me or when you appreciate what I do, because it helps me know that what I'm doing matters, and I always appreciate that. But I also want to make sure everyone knows the reason I talk about those things, especially now, is not because I believe what people like that say, or that what people saying those kinds of things is doing is like hurting me or making me question myself or question the validity of what I'm doing or carnivore or any of that. The reason that I talk about things like that, the reason that I point those things out from time to time when I feel that it's appropriate and it is germane to the conversations of the community, the reason that I talk about that at those points in time is because I used to be on the other side of this issue. And I, at one point in time, because of the brain inflammation, because of the way I felt about myself, the mental, emotional, and spiritual issues I was going through as a result of what I looked like when I saw myself in the mirror, self-confidence problems, I mean, just all of these things. I was that person that looked in the mirror and hated what I saw. I was 120 pounds heavier than I am right now. And the depression, anxiety things, and just no self-confidence. And, you know, I mean, I was the person that I walked into the room and I started making fat jokes about myself before anybody else could, because I was so self-conscious about it that I thought, well, if I make it funny, then nobody else will have a reason to point it out. And most of the time that worked, but there were still times that people would comment on it. And I mean, I felt worthless. And I couldn't even argue it because I looked in the mirror and I saw what they saw and I knew why they were saying it. I used to be that person. I'm not that person anymore. There's a really important concept here. And there are people in this community that need to understand this concept. Now, I know many of you that are my subscribers that watch my videos, you probably already have this kind of thing under control. You already feel good about all of these things. Like you're good. And you are honestly where I am, where people, you know, maybe they say things and you're like, whatever, I don't care. You're stupid. I'm not gonna deal with that. There are a lot of people I think that are in the community though, that have a lot of self-confidence issues with this, and they are struggling more than they'll probably ever tell anybody. And they, like me, like I used to do, probably watch videos like mine or, you know, anyone in this keto, ketovore, carnivore space that are creating videos. They watch that because they want inspiration. They want to boost in confidence. They want to do the research of how do I make myself healthier, all of these different things, because they're searching for something. I can tell you from experience, for someone like that, the comments like I would get from this person that commented on my YouTube video and the way they were calling me fat and like all these kinds of things, I don't pay any attention to that anymore. But someone in my community, like those people who like I used to be, that can send you completely off the rails because you don't have the confidence to stand up for yourself. You don't feel like you have any value or any worth. And that's a really hard place to be, especially if you're trying to improve your life and you want to be successful in your job or in your marriage or in your friendships or as a parent or with your diet or I mean like anything. And this doesn't just apply to carnivore or ketovore and the weight loss and the health issues. This applies to business, and this applies to being in a relationship or being a good friend or being a good family member, being a good parent. This applies to hobbies. This applies to improving yourself in any area of your life. There's a really important concept here for all of you who are experiencing this to remember. And even this is a good refresher for those of you who maybe have it under control, but it's nice to have it affirmed over and over again. You are valuable. I'm talking to those of you that watch these videos that are just like I was and look in the mirror and you hate what you see and you feel like you don't have control over it. And these people that make comments in your life really get to you and you really are afraid of people like that noticing you and seeing that you're not health-wise where you want to be and judging the way you look and judging the way you move and judging the way you eat and all of these things. I was there. I'm talking to you and I'm telling you, know your worth and know your value because you are worthwhile. You are worthy of good health and confidence and talent and skill and all of these things you can develop in building a great life. You are worth that. You are valuable enough. This community loves you. I love you guys. And I'm here for you because I used to be just like that, where I didn't know any of this. I didn't have any of these things in my mind. I struggled. And I don't want you to struggle like I struggled. It's one of the reasons I do these things. I was talking with this person, and I would say talking, debating, I'm not really sure. It was really mostly just a discussion back and forth where I kept pointing out that they couldn't just, badger me into feeling bad about myself. And every time I did, they just, they keep doubling down on calling me fat and telling me all these issues I have and whatever. And I told them I've lost 120 pounds. I'm taking control of my life and I'm doing all these things and I'm getting healthier and I'm feeling better and like I'm improving everything and I'm doing the work it takes to get there, because it's not easy. It takes time and effort and work and investment and, intentionality. You have to take the time to put in the effort to do the things. It's not hard, but it does take time and effort and patience, and it does require some attention, and it's also not easy. There's days that it feels easy and there's times that it doesn't, but it's worth it in the end. And the only way that you can stick to that and know that it's worth it is when you see the worth and the value that you have, to know that you deserve to take the time to do it. What happens is you start to gain the confidence to not feel like trash and to not feel bad about yourself, but to actually see your own value. And even though you're not perfect, you can see how you can take another step each day to be better. I'm not perfect. I still have weight to lose. If you've seen the health vlog where I took my shirt off for the world to see, I showed you guys the extra fat on my waist. It's there, but it's getting less and less and less. And I'm working on it and I'm feeling better and my body is reshaping and I'm doing the hard work. And I told this person that. And now a normal person who wants to see what's good in other people's lives, wants you to improve and wants the world to be a better place, has empathy and who cares about people, their appropriate response to me telling them I lost 120 pounds would be to say something like, wow, that's amazing. That must be a lot of hard work that went into that. That's so great that you're taking back your life and you're improving your health and that you're losing weight and fixing health issues and all of this stuff and, whatever. This person's response, and you're going to meet people like this. I would love to say that you're just going to be surrounded by wonderful people and you're not going to go through this. And I'm not saying everybody is going to be this way, but you need to understand, if you're one of these people that is still where I was, where you don't have a lot of confidence, and I still have to guard against sliding back that way because I'm so used to being that. But if you're in a place where you don't have that confidence, you need to know you're going to come across people like this, and it's okay. It's not you, you're not doing anything wrong, and it's not because you're less valuable. It's just people like this exist. This person, their response to me saying I lost 120 pounds was, wow, you lost 120 pounds? That's a whole person, and you're still fat, and da-da-da-da. And they went on a whole thing about all of the issues that I still have. Why would someone like that say that? Do you see the pattern of, it doesn't matter what I do, and it doesn't matter how much I succeed, how much I improve, how much I go from here to here, what I'm doing with my health, with my weight loss, with my YouTube channel, and none of that matters to a person like this, because narcissistic people who hate themselves so much and don't have anything in their lives important enough or good enough to feel value in themselves, the only way they can make it through the day is to try to find people that they can compare themselves to, that they feel like they can be better than you at something. So they can put themselves, well, I'm here, but look, this other person is down here, and I'm going to point it out to them, and I'm going to try to make them feel like trash, because if I make them feel bad enough and I point out how worthless and trash I think they are, well, then I must not be that bad, because look, I'm not as bad as them. And that is a very small, unhappy little person who has such a sensitive ego that if you stand up to them and say, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you bully me because I don't live up to your expectations, even though you know nothing about where I've come from, you know nothing about the improvements I've made, you know nothing about how much I have grown and how many people I'm trying to help and how much love I'm trying to give to those who really need it because they need some encouragement so they can get out of that same place where I was. You don't know any of that, but yet you're going to try to beat me down, break me down, point out anything that you see that you feel like you can judge it because you're better than that in your own mind. This is the kind of person that I'm talking about. You're going to meet people like that, and you know what? You can't do anything about people like that. Best thing that I know how to do is look at somebody like that, and if you've ever been anywhere around the South or anybody from the South, you know the proper response to someone like that is, bless your heart. Now, if you know anything about the South, you know what bless your heart means, what that's a polite way of telling somebody to do. That is the appropriate response to someone who acts that way. I want you guys to understand, if you are one of those people who is in that place where someone like that can still affect you, you don't have to listen to people like that. I certainly don't have to listen to people like that, and neither do you. I take the time to respond to people like that on my channel because if anybody ever sees that comment and you see me responding to it, I want you to be empowered and made bold by the fact that, well, look at Chris. He's lost 120 pounds. He was overweight. He was sick. He was miserable. He was depressed. He was anxious. He was struggling. He was in pain. He was addicted. He was all of these things. Look how far he's come. And look at how he's gotten to a point where people like that who want to treat him like he is not worth anything, how they have no power over him. That's the key. And I told this person exactly that. I said, it's really sad that this is your response to me losing 120 pounds. And I said, you can say angry, hateful things all you want, and you can just keep doubling down and being more and more and more insulting. But nothing you can ever say is going to get through that computer screen at me and make me feel bad about myself. Like, you cannot say something mean enough to put me down enough for me to actually think what you think matters. My community, all of you that watch, the people who love this and who help support me, that I'm trying to support in return, and we're going back and forth trying to just be a better community and help each other, what you guys say matters. Someone like this person, I told them, I was like, what you say just literally doesn't matter. You can say all the angry things you want, but all you're doing is publicly proving that you are exactly what I'm telling you that you are. You're egotistical, ignorant, arrogant, because you can look at somebody who literally is changing their life day by day and is using every bit of knowledge and skill they can muster in that area to try to offer other people the same hope. And the only thing you can think of to do is tell that person that they're fat and then see their success as a negative because, well, look at all of the bad things that you had to overcome and you still have more. And it's like, it's literally taking what is somebody's achievement and their hope and using it to twist that perspective into the most just kind of vile, evil place that it could be, to try to use it as a way to make them think about all of their failure. And I'm sorry, but that's just despicable. That's what people like that are going to do. Now, I've said, for those of you watching the video, I'm not in any way affected by people like this. Not as far as like my own confidence and how I feel about myself, right? I am not in any way subject to ignorant opinions like that. And I've told people that say these things that exact thing. The effect that those things have on me is to reaffirm for me that what I am doing here, why I am trying to inspire people who are struggling the same way I was struggling with those same thoughts, with those same things that make you feel terrible about yourself. My work here of trying to inspire you, offer you recipes that can be used as tools to help you along the way, whatever it is I'm doing here on YouTube that you find to be helpful, that is really important work. There's a lot of recipe creators, there's a lot of keto carnivore people that create videos, put out health information, like all this kind of stuff. And I sort of have taken bits and pieces of how I see them all doing this and created my own sort of version of it, my own brand. But I think one of the biggest influences that I see that has made a difference on me and my life and the way I run my YouTube channel is Dr. Barry. I talk about him a lot in my videos. The reason that I talk about him so much is because of the impact he has had on me. And more importantly, because I see on YouTube what he is doing is putting out information. As he says, he's kind of righting the wrongs. He's making up for the sins of his past, whatever, because he says that as a doctor, he was uninformed and gave information that he believes harmed patients. Not intentionally, but that was the outcome of it. And so he wants to spend the rest of his days putting out the information to try to make up for that and try to save and help as many people with their health by keto, ketovore, and carnivore as he possibly can. I'm one of those success stories that his information has saved. And Nisha too, she puts out great stuff, and I'm very much inspired by her videos too. I feel like what they have done has helped me have a new life that I never would have had without them. I have very, very high levels of respect and love and loyalty to them, even though I haven't met them in person yet, and I can't wait till the day that I do, but I respect them. I love them for who they are. I love them for what they do. And I am so inspired by them. And one of the things that I see is that everything they do is meant to take people who feel like they can't and teach them how they can, in whatever way that means, so that they can stand up for themselves. They can stand up to bullies that want to call them fat. They can stand up to food manufacturers that say, well, this is what food should look like. They can stand up to governments and programs and regimes and councils and anybody else who thinks that they can have an influence over telling you, well, this is what we've decided is healthy for you, even though there's no evidence to it. So we're going to make you do this by just pushing it, shoving it down your throat until you accept it. We're just going to badger you into being compliant. Guess what? People who try to convince you to eat things that aren't good for you, and they try to tell you it's good for you because there's a political agenda or a profit-based reason behind that. Usually those things are tied, right? Those people who are doing that on a macro level, it's the exact same thing that a small person on a micro level who decides to say, you're fat, you've lost 120 pounds, but look at all of the things that are wrong with you. That is the exact same thing. They don't care about your well-being. They just want to put you down so that they can keep you under their thumb, control you, and get what they want. For a person who comments and calls you fat, that's because what they want is to feel good about themselves, even though they can't feel good about themselves because apparently they just hate themselves so much they just have to hate you more. They want to feel good about themselves, and they think the only way in life that they can find to do that, because they're not going to be successful at the other things they're trying to do, the only way they can think of to do that is to try to make you feel like trash so that they can try to compare themselves to you and say, well, look, I'm better. That is a sad and miserable way to exist, folks. If you have someone who is talking to you that way, remember that. Remember how sad and miserable somebody has to be to look at you, and not because they're trying to help you, because they want to point out your failures, is saying things like that to you. Use keto, use carnivore, ketovore, whatever it is that works best for you. Use recipes, don't use recipes, I don't care. Whatever is the right method of the proper human diet that is going to work for you and help you one day at a time get better and better. Use those tools and improve your life step by step, because you are worth it. And if there's anything that I learned from Dr. Barry's videos that was important, all the keto and the carnivore stuff and the science and the medical things and everything, like those are great. Those are the research that back up what I'm doing. But the real thing that I thank him for, and the thing that I took away from first starting to watch all of his stuff, guess what? You are worth being healthy, valuable enough that you deserve that. And you don't have to be subject to a big corporation or a government or a little itty bitty tiny person who just wants to be a bully and just wants to make you feel like trash. You're not subject to any of those things. You are not destined to die a slow, miserable, painful death so that somebody else makes a lot of money off of it. You have that choice because you deserve it and you are worth it. So thank you to Dr. Barry and Nisha for teaching me a very valuable lesson about how valuable I was, and for also saying the best thing you could do to pay us back in a number of his videos is to go out and teach your friends and family. I sort of took that to the extreme, and I ended up starting a YouTube channel, and here I am trying to deliver recipes, to give you tools, and doing health vlogs to try to inspire people. But that's what I do. That's why I'm here. So I love you guys. I'm never going to stop doing this. I'm never going to give in, because I am part of the movement that he is such a front runner in. And gosh, I just love and respect the hell out of those two for it. I really do. If there's anything that I can do to try to be a big helpful piece of this for any of you, for the movement as a whole, for the community, for them and what their mission is, anything, I am just here for you guys because I love you. No matter how stressful and difficult things get, it's the reason that I continue doing the videos, the recipes, the vlogs, all of it. Because as much time as it takes, as much effort as it takes, and as much frustration as you can deal with from ignorant people that love to call you fat for no reason, when I get messages where people are telling me the kinds of impact that my recipes and my health vlogs and my videos and my attitude and everything that I'm saying has in their life, and how much they appreciate what I do, I realize I'm helping people. And there's nothing better that you could ever do with keto, ketovore, and carnivore than take back your health and then use it to try to help somebody else. It is the best thing that I could ever do with what has been given to me. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching. I know this has been a longer video, but I think it's a really important thing to put out there. And like I said, for those of you that are my loyal subscribers who always come to my defense and tell me not to listen to people like that, and are worried about my well-being, I promise you guys, I appreciate that support. Please keep giving it, but have confidence in the fact that Chris Cooking Nashville has confidence. Chris has confidence. Chris knows exactly what somebody like that is, why they say what they say, and the fact that I'm not subject to it. Because you know what? You guys, you matter. You mean so much to me. You guys matter more than I could ever tell you. People like that guy, they don't matter. But they do make for some interesting conversation and talking points that hopefully help to inspire those of you who don't feel the confidence that I do yet, that are in the same spot where I was. Believe me, if I can get out of that place, you can get out of that place. Do that keto, ketovore, carnivore thing, use the proper human diet, and deal with those scary dark corners in your mind, because you are worth it. You are valuable enough, and you are strong enough to look at the monsters in those dark corners and realize they were just figments of your imagination. It can be very scary when you first start. I know, it was for me. But you're worth it, and you can do it, and I am here to support you guys in it. Guys, I love you. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope that you deal with whatever it is you've got going on so that you can take that next step to be better. And if there's anything I can ever do to help, you guys know where to find me. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. This is Chris Cooking Nashville. Eat your meat, love your life, and I'll see you in the kitchen for the next recipe.